Hi, I'm Graham. Welcome to the Arthur Rylah Institute. Today I'm going to introduce you to one of our newest inventions. It's called the Ecological time machine. Victoria is located in the southeast corner of the Australian continent, and it has a wide diversity of ecosystems and habitats. These range from deserts and semi-arid ecosystems, through rivers and wetlands and coastal areas, to native grasslands and open woodlands, into wet, dense upland forests, and at the highest of altitudes, they extend into treeless alpine environments. The distribution and arrangement of these ecosystems is not purely random. Interactions between soils and terrain and climate, including rainfall and temperature, frosts and drought, all have a big influence on the type of ecosystems that occur at any one location. Apart from environmental influences, humans have also had a big impact on Victoria's ecosystems. Since European settlement, we have lost some ecosystems almost completely, while others may be in pretty good shape. The degree of impact on any particular ecosystem relates to the resources that ecosystem can provide for people. For example, forests and woodlands provide timber for building and firewood. Native grasslands have provided the basis for Victoria's grazing and agricultural industries. And wetlands and lakes have provided valuable water resources to people. The condition and status of our ecosystems currently relates to the level of disturbance and the use of these natural resources. Our research is focused on learning patterns in the distribution of plants and animals across Victoria and across southeastern Australia more broadly. One of the modern methods of learning patterns in data is to use a big computer and do a data mashup. Data mashups are where you combine many different types of data together to make predictions. We regularly use this approach to predict where we might find suitable habitat for all of Victoria's plants and animals. In our data mashup recipe, we combine information from biodiversity databases with records from many thousands of species. We also add into our data mashup digital information on elevation, terrain and climate. But perhaps the most powerful ingredient in our recipe for predicting biodiversity distributions comes in the form of satellite imagery. Predicting where things are now is very cool, and it's a fun thing to do. But what about predicting back into the past? What was Victoria like 200 years ago or more? And how could we make good guesses about the former distributions of plants and animals from that time? To do this, we would really need to build a time machine. Now that would be really cool. Well, we have built a time machine. We did this by learning the patterns in the data embedded within the current satellite imagery itself. Once we learnt those patterns using information on soils and climate, we could then train the computer to imagine what a satellite image might look like across the whole of Victoria from a time before satellites were even invented. With our pre-settlement satellite image, or our ecological time machine, we can now predict where plants and animals were likely to have been in the past. Maybe as an example of how useful our time machine is, I'll introduce you to my mate Fred, the brush-tailed phascogale. Fred is cute, isn't he? He likes to live in dry woodlands and feed upon large invertebrates like cockroaches and beetles and spiders. He's also nocturnal, so you don't get to see him very often. Once upon a time, Fred's habitat covered a lot of the dry forests and woodlands of southeastern Australia. Today, the habitat that is available for Fred and his mates is a lot less than it once was. And so this is why our ecological time machine is a really important tool. It allows us to see what we once had, what we have now, and therefore to estimate what we have lost. This is really useful information in conservation management. It helps our department and other conservation agencies allocate their limited money and energy wisely. It helps us make much smarter decisions about where we protect habitat and where are the best prospects for habitat restoration and rehabilitation. And it also helps land managers identify where the loss of habitat from permitted clearing may have the least impact for all types of biodiversity.